Hi everyone, thanks for coming to Studio DR. I'm here with Bruce Shaw, Senior Director of Commercial Marketing for AMD. So Bruce, the biggest question I have for you is what it takes to be an innovator. You, in my mind, are one of the strongest and most insightful innovators I've seen in internet marketing.
Right? I think you have a hunch, and certainly I was lucky enough from a lot of circumstances from the environment we're in, lining up and wanting to take a risk. So you look back 3 years ago when you and I got started in doing these type of things. I was with a company that was, AMD, brand new in the market. We knew we had lightning in a bottle with the product we had, and we're up against a competitor that, we weren't even in the server market at that point. We were literally starting at 0% market share. How are we going to get into the market? How are we going to make an impact? And certainly, we're going against a competitor that doesn't not only owns the market, deep pockets, loyal installed base, makes a good product. How do you go against them in terms of you've got what on your hands is a world beater, but you're going to talk to a tech community audience, certainly folks that are very cynical in terms of how they look at technology and what people bring out and risk, and they're very risk averse. And it was how do we conduct that message efficiently? And it was all about really at the time, what is going to be the most efficient path to carry the message? And I was convinced from day one it was online. I mean, we're now at a point where we are 95% online with the communications that we do. Online by far trumps every other form of media that we look at in terms of getting a branding message out there to our audience.
Right.
The other thing that it lets us do is really get down to digestible content. And that's what I was talking about before in terms of, the days of someone picking up the paper, picking up an article on the front page, turning rapidly to the back and sticking with it really are gone, right?
Right.
We all have a little ADD now in terms of how we take in content. And, we've gotten so much faster with Blackberries and media and all the other things that are constantly
People want
there.
less, more targeted content to them, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's got to be on point. It's got to be digestible. It's got to be stuff that is engaging and keeps their attention. And that really is one of the hard parts is how do I get the attention of my audience? And that was really where, okay, it's not just the web with a 2D static page.
Right.
It's got to be much more immersive. And as you and I originally started the relationship and started talking, it was evident that it had to be the combination of video along with the web.
Which was really new at that time.
It was completely new.
How did you know, though, to go down this route? How did you know that that doing a video program, and by the way, I thought was brilliant that you kept it up quarterly.
Right.
I almost felt like we would sit back, we'd look at where the industry moved a little bit here and there every quarter.
And we were tweaking. Yeah.
We would tweak it. We'd optimize and tweak it,
Right.
which is something you can only do in online.
Right.
But you're one of the first to start that.
Well, and again, it was, always with marketing, you love to look at something that's timely, relevant.
Right.
This was the convergence of, the right message, the right vehicle to carry that message because it was something that was capturing the imagination of your target audience, from a population standpoint.
Yeah.
It just gave it the natural, perfect platform to be able to get up, and talk about energy efficiency and talk about it in a very real-time way where, even today as an industry, we don't have all the answers.
Right.
We are still wrestling with the growing power consumption that compute demands are putting on the world. This really was, but it was a vehicle to get out, to talk about it, and carry that message, again, succinctly and very genuinely. Again, there's, you look at the different forms of media out there. One of the troubles with print advertising is your message gets to be so short, right? You don't, especially if you have a complex product, you don't have a lot of time to give your value proposition, right? As you said, the white paper earlier, boy, a lot of people can't take the time to sit down and really digest those anymore. You and I have talked repeatedly about that 2 to 3 minute window.
Yeah.
Right? When you've got somebody's full attention, and especially if you can do something that, visually stimulates them, catches their eye, and brings them in, you can deliver in 2 minutes you can deliver a message.
Right.
And you can focus on a point.
It's their attention span.
We wanted to do something from day one that was very different than anyone had done before. We wanted to break through the clutter. And it really, at the time, it was, how do we do something that's going to stand out and pop?
Right.
This is really what's happening. People want a voice.
Yep.
Right? Blogs, YouTube, all of the different things that are happening is people want to personalize the web.
Right.
Right? I want it to be personal media interaction.
It's all about the individual now.
Yeah, I don't want to just be fed, right? I want to be able to interact back. Having a conversation is a two-way street.
Right.
Right? That's what they're striving for. I think, again, it's great to have the AVE experience, and it really, it's big. It's when you get in there, it's expansive, and it is like a trade show. I think what's going to happen more is this type of interaction where it's more one-to-one. I think it is going to be video-driven. I think the content and the things that are going to happen there are the next step, and it's going to be
It's just going
more
to get better.
customizable. It's going to get better. It's going to get smaller in some ways.
Yeah.
But in that smaller, the repetitions, the amount of time that interaction takes place is really what's going to drive it. And I think the innovation, the next evolution we're going to go through is how do we have this in much more of a one-to-one.
Well, thank you very much for coming to the show today. We really appreciate your time, and again, it's been a real treat working with you. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope we can continue our relationship moving forward.
Absolutely.
Thanks again, everyone, for coming today. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.